What planet are you on?
Oh, I lost you then.
Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. Got it.
I'm saying, what planet are you on?
Who, me?
You just said, why is it blocked? Why is Facebook blocking it?
I'm just confirming. Just affirming what I already know.
Yeah. But listen, this is Phillip Bush had an epic battle with illegal bailiffs. And we're just here to talk about it and document it and get it out there to embarrass them, because that's a big part of our fight. Is we can publicize things and they can't even respond to it. This is a massive part of it, because they're without juries. So the public is a kind of jury, and their family see, their enemies see, and gives us a massive leverage, especially the ones in power. You know, the council leader and all them that are basically an accessory. So tell us what happened, Phil.
Well, the bailiffs turned up.
Mm.
Two guys that wasn't not the bailiff that it should have been, just two sort of thuggish looking guys. We asked for their ID. They weren't wearing any ID on the clothing.
Yeah.
They had lanyards on, and they had this moody fake badge with HMCTS and nothing else.
Oh.
no numbers, no pictures, no nothing. Yeah.
Oh.
And we're like, right, okay, so who are you? Oh, this is us. You know, right, okay, you're nobody. Let's see the paperwork. And they flashed the folded warrant. You know, they fold it over.
Yeah, the folded fake warrant. Yeah.
Yeah. And they flashed that, and we asked to look at it, and then they wouldn't let us see it. We pointed to the no trespass notices on the front and asked them to read and understand those. And because there was a few guys there, they ran straight off, and they ran. You got to understand where we live; it's a bit weird, but they ran sort of down the track a bit to the vans.
Right.
And the chief honcho, who didn't come to the door, he didn't come up to the gate. He's straight on the phone. He's got someone on speed dial. Anyway, within a few minutes, the police are there.
Oh, like they were not around the corner hanging around.
No. No, yeah, and they drove off. They drove off. Sorry, yeah, sorry, I got that wrong. Yeah, they drove off. We watched them drive away. We thought, okay, right, goodbye. That's the fastest retreat I've ever seen. Then a neighbour of mine is going up the road. And he phones me. He's like, Phil, there's coppers everywhere. There's vans. There's plainclothes cars. He said, there's an army parked up the road. I'm like, oh shit. So we were actually starting the after show party at that point. We were in the garden in the sun. Barbecue got lit, you know.
Yeah.
And then they came back. And they came with vans. They came with dogs. They had tons of it. There was more bailiffs. There was locksmiths. There's all kinds. And there was probably about 17, 20 of them all together.
Wow.
At least sort of 12, at least 12 police officers.
Right.
Anyway, they just rushed at the gate, and we started saying, look, they're on fake paper. Show us the warrant. Show us the warrant. They wouldn't do it. And bailiffs were coming at us. And we've got like a big wooden farm gate that was locked with a chain, and all the protectors are on one side. We've got a couple guys filming within their crowd as well. We've got all this video. We've got all the households around videoed it as well. And then they're sort of like arguing, oh, we're coming in. They've got the locksmiths there, and he goes and gets a disc cutter, cordless disc cutter to cut the chain. Yeah. We're like, no. And they start pulling the wheelie bins out of the way, and they start pulling one of the protectors is on the outside, and he's clinging onto the gate, and they're pulling him. They've assaulted him, and he's got injuries all over him. Police complaints going on today. And there was a scrap. It was a proper scrap, and you could see it. And the police just sat back and watched. And I was screaming at the police saying, Constable, there's your peace. There's your breach of the peace. These are attackers. These are hostile attackers. We're peaceful. And they wouldn't do anything. And it was like, I managed to reason with them in the end. And it was very, very heated. In the meantime, more police had arrived.
Yeah.
A couple more had arrived just to make it, you know. And then we
look real.
no, it wasn't. Well, and then we got into I managed to calm it all down. and I managed to appeal to the lead police officer, constable, that it was much better if they backed off and we backed off and we discussed it properly.
Yeah.
I said, it's really, really simple. We just need to see his paperwork. That's all. Identification and his paperwork. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. And we entered into this standoff. And I said, well, look, you go get a sergeant. We need a sergeant down here. And we spent the next few hours waiting for this sergeant. He eventually came. There'd been a lot of discussion, you know. There'd been a lot of discussion. The police, I said to the police, they come with an agenda. They come with an agenda. I could see it in his eyes, you know. They've made presumptions about who we were, and they made presumptions and assumptions about exactly what was going to happen to facilitate the raid. So anyway, so the sergeant comes down, nice chap, and just me and him. My crowd's behind me, his crowd's behind him. And I said, well, you know, let's just sit down, me, you, and him, round a table, a little powwow. And he said, yeah, okay, that's a good idea. So all we really need to do is understand who he is and where he gets his authority. We need to look at the validity of his paperwork, and we need to look at who he is. And I showed him the fake possession order. I said, his document is coming from here. His action stems from this, and this is void. And I showed him a little bit of legislation, so he understood very quickly why that document was void. He understood that. He was very, very reasonable guy. And he said, right, okay. And he comes back and he says, yeah, we're going to have a powwow. Comes back, talks to them, then he comes back and says, yeah, we're going to have a powwow. I said, oh, that's great. He said, just give me a minute. 35 minutes go by. And I'm asking the other cop, what's going on? Oh, he's just making some inquiries. Right, okay. Blah, 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 blah. It goes on and on and on. And then he walks up and he comes to me and he said, I've told them to stand down. I'm sending them away and all these officers are leaving. Wonderful. And they went, and it was good day, sir. There was a couple of coppers there that they turned up as policy enforcers and they left as constables. There was one guy. He could see he was a good guy. He was the guy who had the dogs. Yeah. I said to him, you're like the motorbike guys. You know, you're in it for the dogs. They're in it for the bikes. They're not real coppers. Nice people. And he laughed. But he's a human. I appealed to him as a human. You know. Yeah. And he came across like in the end, and I think he learned a little bit. You know. So they've gone.
But wonderful. I mean, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled because they obviously, what I know, Phil, is when they put a lot of bodies, they mean business, and that they want to. It's called deflection in psychology. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to deflect attention on the crowd and on the drama.
Yeah. Create a melee.
The fake warrant.
Yeah.
When they said they were making inquiries, your documentation was in writing asking, who did you ask to verify stuff, matters?
Well, I asked the bailiff to verify matters.
You asked the bailiff?
In writing. I asked the court.
The court.
Who, interestingly, on the last email we sent them, I didn't get an automated receipt.
Right.
And I asked the chief executive of the county council,
right,
as a matter of great urgency, alerting them to that we only had 24 hours left, you know, so they should have responded. I pointed out that, you know, that things were happening, you know, and nobody responded at all.
Right, but your requests are on record.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if you're going to make inquiries, you understand? The only thing on the record is this man has asked for the warrant in writing, and we sent him some junk, and he said, well, you didn't send the warrant, so could you kindly send it urgently and cease and desist? So that is what they're going to find in their inquiries.
Yeah.
So, you know, I always say, the documentation and just request what they're supposed to have by law that you know they don't have.
Yeah.
And stick to it. Because that's the only place they can't win and we can't lose. It's simple. Like you said, they're giving you HMC CTS ID with no credentials on it.
No, nothing on it. Blank.
You have been arrested straight away for impersonating an officer of the court. Straight away. But of course, the police are biased. So, I mean, right now, I'm just saying for the public, um, this is time to file a crime report because, first of all, there's going to be a crime number for so many police to come out. There must be an existing crime number in the system.
Yeah.
So we're going to use that crime number and file an online crime report as an update. And we want to know who called the police. Understand? Who called?
Yeah.
What time? Which police came out? Because all those numbers, there's only one in charge. All the others are just passers-by. You know, they come to intimidate and distract. So we know their technique to a very high level. And from what we understand, on other cases, they put a call through to the police just for the record that they've been assaulted at around 4 a.m. in the morning. Because the police cannot come out to assist the bailiff or just come out on a civil matter. So they have to have something in the system, but they will never want you to know this because that is police misconduct. That is, you know, a whole lot of different crimes all rolled into one. If the police are predetermining and fabricating the records to justify to come and steal your property and pretend they're keeping the peace. The peace means they're restricting you from defending your property, which you're entitled to do. And that was established on the Robert White case. You're entitled to use reasonable force. So the guy was your supporter who was holding the gate and blocking them from entering. He was not obstructing a bailiff because it's within the law. And they can't prove they're bailiffs because even if you're
they were pulling out when he had an angle grinder at the time, which is aggravates it even, you know. He wasn't doing anything. He was just defending himself.
Yeah.
Well, clinging onto the fence, that's all.
Yeah. So it's like a civil war that we're in at the moment. The way we're seeing them, you know, Paul and Corinna in London the other day, they took their property back for a year successfully. And then they came this time and they got the computer record from the court and it says there is no warrant and it says there is no judgment. And still, the police came after a year to assist these people and assisted them, you know, after it's been established in black and white. So we are in a civil war. You know, I was arrested when December in Liverpool, and I know my stuff a little bit, so they released me without charge. And then I went to do my business on another flat next to that one, same setup. And the police came, 6 police, they wouldn't arrest me. I'm begging them to arrest me and charge me because they have to charge you with something. Criminal damage, obstructing a bail, whatever they charge you, then it has to be proven, yeah? They wouldn't arrest me. In the end, they were there about 45 minutes. I was there with Reg Austin and another guy. And they said, if you don't go, we're going to beat you up.
Really?
Yeah. But they wouldn't arrest. So we are in a civil war with property theft. So the police have to make a decision. Are they going to carry on this thing? And unless we publicize it, and do it in the right way, you know, we're sending this now to every MP in the country. We're putting on the petition, whatever, and bring attention to it. You know, we had this little case with this Rosemary Copeland lady.
Yeah.
That Michael Obernisha publicized. So on that one, after the bailiff took the property and stuff, this has been going on for a lot of years. The police told them they had a right to occupy, to enter the property, and they had a security, living security, who had to move out, vacate the premises. This is a huge precedent, even though it's not a legal precedent, but it's a precedent in that, you know, you got to move the security out. You know, it's it's unbelievable. I'm so thrilled that at the end of the day, you're in your house. They made all this effort, and imagine how much taxpayers' money to put out all this, and how many real burglars or crimes are going on.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
people need help in urgent situation, and they're here to helping to steal your house, pretending they're keeping the peace.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a huge waste.
so you did tremendously well, and you had some good support by the sounds of it.
Yeah, we had a good team. They were a bit loud, but it was a good team.
Yeah, and you had some good uh, you had some good documentation, and
Yeah, we had everything that we needed
uh-huh,
on clipboards.
yeah, and some
We were
good,
wearing high-vis vests with security on.
super.
We were all dressed up. I did have ID badges, but I just didn't have time to make them up. Some lanyards, you know.
Yeah. But you know, they're forgetting that the police and the local authority, they work for us. They are civil servants. They don't work for illegal bailiff companies and private property and BlackRock and whoever is the
Yeah.
ultimate beneficiary. So, you know, I'll just go through quickly. The bottom line is, Phil, they can't make a lawful and valid claim because they don't have an accounting ledger to file a claim for money. So the court case cannot be legitimate, because if you went to evict a tenant and you don't have your tenancy agreement, it's very difficult. You have to have your rent schedule to show what is what. This is exactly the same on a mortgage. They don't have, because if they present the accounting ledger, it's going to show you as the creditor.
Why did you say, just go back 2 clicks?
Yeah.
Anthony, why did you say that they can't file a claim?
No, they can't file a proper claim, because to file a claim, you have to submit the evidence with your claim.
I thought you were talking about the accounting.
Yeah, so that's
I see. Right. Yeah.
That's the evidence that you owe money. You understand? So since they don't have one, or they have one, but it's going to show you as the first entry on the ledger is a credit from you. You understand? If you go back,
that's on the off balance sheet, isn't it? Though that's hidden.
No, but you can't file a claim with a hidden material, can you?
Yeah.
So they can't file a proper claim, so they have to put it under the table. And that's why when you requested and demanded the case management records, they didn't say we don't have it, but they said they'll have a possession claim online only. Which is, if you interpret that, it means they do not have a case management record.
Yeah.
Because it's not an official case.
Well, I went on PCOL and it wasn't there. Nothing.
Well, you don't need to go on PCOL. You asked for the case management. You didn't ask for PCOL. You understand? They're sending They're sending you on a different. You ask, where is the case management? It's a simple question. If it's about a 4 or 5 page document, you print it off, press a button, it turns out sections 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
You ask the lawyer, where is the court fee that you paid? The receipt. The receipt has 12 credentials. It has a time of day, method of payment, all different credentials. And when you're making a possession claim online, the computer stops when it gets to the fee. Until you pay the fee, it won't move forward. And as soon as you pay the fee, it generates a receipt on the system and by email to you. So when you ask the lawyers, what are they called again?
Assent.
Assent lawyers, who you said are lawyers for some bank or other. Assent. So you ask them a simple question: Can you send me a copy of the receipt, the statutory receipt that for the fee you paid? Did you get a reply?
No.
No, you are entitled to that because they're claiming that fee from you on the claim as a cost.
Yeah, I see that. I see that on the claim.
Ah, So where is the statutory receipt? Right? So that's why they can't have a warrant. Because you can't have a legitimate warrant on the back of a fake court proceedings. Well, if you have a proper warrant, what's the problem? You request an email, they just email it to you.
Yeah. Yeah. What could be more different? You know, what could be more easy?
And what it is, Phil, the proper county court bailiff, they have to be an appointed bailiff. They generally don't want to do the job. You know, like the email you send to request things and they can't answer.
Yeah.
They get scared. They have a pension. They have a proper job. So they hire nightclub bouncer.
Yep.
And coming with a badge that says HMCTS, because you were asking in writing, give me your HMCTS badge, your ID. So I know who you are. They put bailiff number 1 and bailiff number 2. That's what I use when I go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Bailiff. How can you make an appointment with number 1 and number 2? You understand?
Yeah.
So they're doing everything to disguise, and then people get a lawyer, and these lawyers are not letting on because, unfortunately, it can't work without these lawyers. If you had a lawyer now, you'd be more poor. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a lawyer when I was in bloody prison when they stole my property for trespass allegedly. And I keep asking the lawyer, get me the prosecution, get me the computer record. And he come back to me and he said, I'm sorry, I'm professionally embarrassed.
Really?
Writing. So if you stick to that, just stick to it. You understand? It reduces your energy output because you're down to one golden master key that you can't lose and they can't win. They cannot have a proper warrant because the case itself is a counterfeit. So the things you can't get, the warrant, the bailiff ID, and that's it. You can't get it. It's not, the council knows. They didn't even answer to you. The council is charging people all this council tax. And you send an email, I'm threatened with illegal eviction. Please do something. If you were a private landlord and a tenant made a complaint like that, you'll be in court by now.
Yeah.
You understand? In the people that Corinna and Paul down in London, we made a complaint to the council and followed it up. 12 months, they never responded. And on the day that they kicked him out and he was breaking back in, someone from the council came to interrupt him. That's Enfield Council, where John Jossa, the previous council chief, got 7 years jail for fraud.
Wow.
You understand? So this is the battle. We have to try and bring some exposure and publicity, because another problem is they're doing it in secret. The press is not. Tell me this is not headline news.
Yeah.
Understand? The press is not reporting. That's why we have Scambot.tv. We do the little bit we can, and we ask people to share it because it's get highly suppressed. Right now, we're supposed to be live on Facebook. It says I don't have permission. When did you need permission to live stream something on Facebook? And permission from who? You understand? So before this, I was using Brave browser. Facebook says we don't accept Brave browser. Then I went to Firefox. We don't accept Firefox. I had to use Google Chrome. So this is it's the maffia.
It's all around. It's all around.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, we can find them on a battleground where they're out of the water. Just the warrant. I think in Obernisha's case, that one with Copeland, they had a sealed warrant or stamp with the court. They put it under the microscope, and they could see that
They grafted it, yeah.
Was on top of the stamp.
Yeah.
So you can't stamp something before it was typed up. And that's what the police couldn't overcome, that one. But at least the police are listening, you know, a little bit. And your case, I think, is along that pathway that we have to crack it step by step and have an incremental progress, that it will become hopefully the norm that if you lying that you have a warrant, it's 7 years. It's the only statute where the sentence is prescribed in the act. The County Court Act, the County Court Act, Section 135, County Court Act 1984, it says falsely claiming the authority of the court. 7 years per item.
Per item.
Per item. I mean, in common law, it's life sentence because it goes back to treason. Because you're
well, it is essentially.
You're fabricating the very authority of the court. So, you know, we have to focus on these things. People tend to get distracted and focus on the drama, which is very important. People are getting hurt, you know.
Yeah.
When Nilu got arrested and they took her to the station, I said, make sure you get your blood pressure checked. She was borderline heart attack. You understand? So they released her immediately without charge and took her in the police car. Didn't even have time to wait for an ambulance. Took her to A&E.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is it's a damage that is happening and risk. You know, we have a lady called Sandra Joseph. She died. Jeremy Corbyn was helping on the case. The doctor gave her a report that this is affecting her health. The hospital. And then she ends up dying. You know, so we just have to fight on the warrant. You know, it's simple. All the other things get solved as a knock-on effect. Because why do you have to fabricate a warrant? Because you don't have a valid possession order. Why do you have a fake possession order? Because your court claim is fake. Why is your court claim fake? Because you don't have a contract and you don't have an accounting ledger. You understand? The paying the fee, about the fee, not paying the fee, I've got it in writing from the Ministry of Justice that it's a case is automatically order must be made that the claim be struck out with damages to the defendant. That's the automatic process, administrative process without a judge involved. Yeah, because you never paid the fee. And at common law, it comes under theft from the public purse. And what's the punishment for that?
I don't know.
Life imprisonment. So the police need to be educated. And if somebody is a victim of a crime, they must arrest the offender. But obviously there's somebody higher up, above the bailiff and above the police, who's got dominion over both. You understand? There's another player, which I believe is the bankers. They got dominion over the police, the bailiff, and the court.
Yeah.
So but the money trail, you understand? The ENAC solicitors are filing the claim on behalf of a bank somewhere. Well, the chief executive of the bank is very comfortable. He needs to be questioned. You instructed the solicitor, he acted on your behalf. Under the law, the chief executive carries the full responsibility in law for the acts and omissions of the staff and agents. The lawyers get this training. We're dealing with the boots on the ground, people who are banging our door and all that. They're just paid minimum wage and probably given a few children to molest on the side.
Yeah.
That they've taken with a fake child protection order. You know, there was a guy called Gordon Bowden. He spent his life investigating this. And he said, the children are the currency of these people, you know? So, listen, I'm sure we're gonna put some of your videos out that you filmed on the spot and everything, because we want to get their faces in the social media.
Yeah, but we've got all the stuff. The main guy stayed at the back with dark sunglasses on.
Ah, what a hint, what a clue there. You're doing a job, you come up and you say, I'm so and so, here's an ID. By the way, even if they had everything proper, Phil, they're not allowed to use force.
No. Oh, he's wrong on so many levels. So many levels.
Any level it's examined, it's wrong.
Yeah, the whole thing's wrong.
And they have only one thing at the end of the day is violence. That's it. But they want to say the violence is justified because we have an authority from the court. That's why I have my thing called court order scam. This word didn't exist, this phrase. When I Googled it to check it out, it yielded 0. Today, you Google it, we did it last year, it shows a return of 50 million. So we are affecting the algorithm and the artificial intelligence, because most people anywhere on the planet cannot conceptualize the idea of court order scam, that court orders could be a scam.
Yeah.
But we've been doing it.
They wouldn't believe it. They wouldn't believe it.
Case after case after case after case. So listen, well done. And you know, I wish you a speedy recovery from all the harassment and aggravation.
Yeah.
And well done.
I need to calm down for a couple of days.
Hopefully we can, you're gonna get some time, because they have to, the only way they can do now, they can say, we're gonna come back with a writ, or we're gonna restitute the warrant. But that's a process.
Yeah.
You understand? And they're gonna think what we're gonna do. Because you've made very lawful and very reasonable requests in writing, on email. Can I have the case management? Can I come and inspect the court file? Can I have the receipt for the fee you paid, Mr. Solicitor? Mr. Chief Executive of the Council, were you notified with any pre-action notice? A notice has to be served on the local authority if someone wants to evict you. So the devil is in the detail, or God is in the detail in this case.
Yeah.
Because nothing can verify. Nothing. The minute the council says you're threatened with illegal eviction, we have no pre-action notice, bang, action must be taken, immediate. Otherwise, they're an accessory.
Yeah.
You know, so listen, man, you've done very well. Anything you want to say to close it off?
Not really, just to say that it was really the stuff that we've been going through the last week or so.
Yeah.
It gave me a lot of strength and put me in the right position. And it's very, very simple. Very simple.
The master key.
So simple, yeah.
All these wheelbarrow loads of paperwork, forget it. Just, you know. Yeah. So, all right, bro.
So,
take care and God bless and stay strong.
Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, take care, buddy.
Cheers.
Speak soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.